Its roof brings to mind the canopy of an aircraft. The sweeping profile was inspired by jets. An angled center stack looks like something from the aerospace industry. Even its gear selector resembles the control stick of a fighter. Allow me to introduce you to the 2016 Nissan Maxima. And though it may not have wings, this brand new large sedan was supposedly inspired by jets. Now, whether or not it's ready to take flight is open to debate, but the automotive industry's track record with claims like this, well, it's not too promising.
When you used to build jets, you don't build just another car. Saab, born from jets.
Yeah, Saab. They were the worst kind of Charlie Foxtrot, if you know what I mean. And I can't tell you exactly why it was such a disaster for them, but what I can say is that we have been cleared for takeoff. Ow, motherfucker! Right in the cornea!
Highway to the danger zone.
This new Maxima is the four-door flagship for the Nissan brand, and it's actually a production version of their sports sedan concept from a little more than a year ago, and accordingly it's got pretty aggressive exterior styling. It's very distinctive, and it's not going to be for everyone, but I happen to think it's quite attractive, especially when you see it out on the road. It's hard to believe, but this is the 8th generation Maxima. The nameplate dates back to 1981, and for 2016, this version is longer, lower, lighter, and tighter than previous iterations. Compared to its direct predecessor, this car is 2.2 inches lankier, 1.3 inches closer to the ground, and has lost about 7 times my body weight, or roughly 82 pounds. It also has 25% greater structural rigidity thanks to the extensive use of high-strength steel. But I feel the need for speed, and fortunately the new Maxima here is happy to oblige. You see, it's powered by a familiar-sounding 3.5-liter V6 engine, a member of Nissan's vaunted VQ family, though it has been thoroughly re-engineered for this 2016 model. In fact, more than 60% of its components are new. This includes things like updated cylinder heads, new pistons and rings, a redesigned oil pan, and even racing-grade sodium-filled exhaust valves to keep heat at bay. And the result of this overhaul is an even 300 horses. That's 10 more than in the outgoing model. Torque totals 261 pound-feet, but perhaps even more importantly than these numbers, this car is about 15% more efficient than last year's Maxima, and that means it gains 4 miles per gallon on the highway for a total of 30. Also, you can expect about 22 mpg around town, combined about 25, and those are pretty impressive figures for such a large, sporty car. Helping deliver extraordinary efficiency is Nissan's latest Xtronic continuously variable transmission. Now, usually I'm not a fan of these cogless ratio swappers, but this one is quite pleasant. It actually mimics gear changes during heavy throttle applications, which eliminates a lot of the droning normally associated with CVTs. Anyway, as quick as this car is, I don't want my ego to write checks my body can't cash, so I'm going to back it off a half a notch or two here. Driving the Maxima is quite impressive. This thing feels very wide, which can make it a challenge to navigate some of the narrow backcountry roads here in Tennessee. Also, it's difficult to see with the tall hood exactly where the corners of the vehicle are, but still handles extremely well. The on-center feel really crisp and precise. Very impressive steering in this big sedan here. Also, the top-end power provided by the engine, very strong as well. She pulls really nicely, sprinting to redline. Also, the VQ V6 here is surprisingly refined. Again, they re-engineered it for improved efficiency and, of course, to make it smoother running, and it really shows. VQ has always been a great engine, but perhaps not the smoothest running V6. This one, really quite creamy. Now, Nissan is offering 5 different trim levels of the 2016 Maxima here, and I happen to be driving the SR, which is the sportiest of the bunch, and it gets unique suspension tuning, special springs, unique anti-roll bars, other things as well, and they really help tighten this car up, make it quite a bit of fun for a front-wheel drive car. Nissan did a very nice job with the interior of its 2016 Maxima. It is extremely premium in here, and frankly, I think it's a step above even something like an Acura TLX. Lots of squishy soft plastics, beautiful textured trim that runs across the dashboard indoors, stitching as well. Plus, the seats are beautifully finished with Alcantara in a unique diamond stitch pattern. It's quite classy, giving things a sporty touch. The steering wheel has a flat bottom and a meaty grip to it, so it's easy to toss this car around on corners. Every version of the Maxima comes standard with a navigation system, and you get a beautiful 8-inch display, capacitive color touchscreen with swiping and pinch to zoom, all the features you get in your modern smartphones. Moving to the back seat, there's quite a bit of leg room, but if you're a taller person, you might find the headspace to be a little bit cramped. Anyway, I think it's time to buzz the tower and wrap up this review. You know, Nissan calls the 2016 Maxima a four-door sports car, and that may sound like total hyperbole, but it's actually not. As big sedans go, this one's quite a bit of fun to drive, certainly more engaging than a Taurus or an Avalon or even Chevy's new Impala. Just don't expect it to hang with, say, a BMW 5 Series, because that's probably not going to happen. Base price for an S model is $33 grand and change, including $825 in usury, I mean delivery fees. Now, the SR model I've been evaluating stickered at $38,495, and curiously, the Maxima is not offered with options. To get extra features, you just step up to a different trim level. You know, you drive cars long enough and something like this happens, you start to like them, and I'm a fan of the new Maxima here.
I wish I was in the land of cotton, old times that are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. You ready?